Hello everyone. Today I'm going to make a video about a particular issue that I've had with my Hyundai Santa Fe 2003. Now, if you own a vehicle from the early 2000s, you'll know that the stereo systems are somewhat technologically challenged. In other words, they're not set up like the new stereo systems are with Bluetooth and all the fancy doodads you get on a new stereo system. But the one key thing that really bothers me that my stereo system doesn't have, and that is the audio input jack. So I can't connect my cell phone, I can't connect my MP3 player or any other external device to it. Basically I'm limited to this. I'll show you my system. All right, here's my tape deck. Looks pretty basic. What do we got? We got a CD at the top, CD player. Though it's digital, it's limited. You can't put that many tunes on a CD, so on and so forth. And I don't want to be carrying them around. And I want to interface my stereo with my cell phone or my MP3 player. And as you can see, there's no audio jack input on the face or anywhere else. But it does have this, a tape deck slot. And I remember from past that there are adapters you can get for a tape deck that allows you to put an audio input through the tape deck. Excellent to be able to do that. So I went out and I bought one, and this is what I got, and I'll show you that. I got this Insten 3.5mm universal car audio cassette adapter for smartphones. Well, it can be hooked up to anything that has an audio jack on it. So it's $5.49. It's a bestseller on Amazon. I said, well, really not gambling much here. I do want to have an audio input into my head unit on my stereo system in my Santa Fe. I actually do like what the stereo sounds like. It's actually a very good sounding stereo. The problem being that, again, I can't input any audio from any of my electronic devices. But with this little adapter, I can. I'm usually apprehensive about buying something that's this cheap. I mean, it's $5.49. How good could it be? Well, I was actually very pleasantly surprised to find that it was an excellent way to interface with my devices. It actually worked better than I thought it was going to. It actually works amazingly well. But I'm just going to go through the physical setup of it, the mechanical functions of it, and why I think it's such a great little device. And I'll give you the pros and cons. I think the pros are it's very cheap. It satisfies the equation for what I needed, which was audio input into my tape deck. The cons is that you got a wire hanging out of the front of your tape deck, and that can be a little unsightly and looks a little weird. But again, your alternative is to change the head unit with a modern head unit with like a USB and CD and DVD and all that stuff that the new modern units have. But that's like $150, $200 to do that. Plus you have to put it in the dash and you have to interface it with the old amp. So for $5.49, hey, I said, let's give it a try. And actually, I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to go over the features of the actual cassette, the physical makeup of the cassette, what I think of that. And then I'm going to put it in the tape deck and give you a small sample of what it sounds like. Actually, very clear, surprisingly good. Here's the cassette deck adapter, audio adapter, and if they could give a prize for minimalist packaging or vanilla packaging, this would be it. First, right out of the box, I was like, wow, could it get any more plain than that? I don't think so. So there it is. There's just a model number on the back, and that's it. Zero instructions, zero anything. So that's what you get with this unit. But it's $5.49, so what do you expect? So let's take it out of the package. And basically it looks like a normal cassette. And if you've never seen a cassette, that's what an audio cassette looks like. Now, first thing I noticed is that it's this side up, so it's a single side playing unit. In other words, if you have an auto reversing deck, it won't switch over to the other side and automatically play. But you don't need to worry about that if you have an auto reversing deck, because it will not play on the other side. It will only play on this side. So if the deck reverses to the B side, the other side of this deck, because of the way this is built, it will actually make the deck reverse back to this side and play the correct side. So if you have an auto reverse deck, it's basically a no-brainer. You can put it in upside down or upside right. It will still play the right side. If you have a standard deck where you have to flip the tape, then you need to put it, you know, as instructed here, this side up. And I'll show you what I mean, why it does that. Because these rollers, as you can see, spin in this direction no problem. But they don't spin in the other direction. They lock. So mechanically they've made it so it only spins in one direction, which means it only play one side of this tape. If it was a real tape, it would only play on one side. The other side won't. So because it can't roll, and the deck automatically figures that out and flips the other side if it's auto reversing. And if it's not auto reversing and you put it in upside down, it'll just eject the tape and then, or tell you that it's over and you need to flip it over. So this side's the only side that plays. One of the neat features I found about the unit, they really didn't have to put that into it, but they did. So that's a plus, big plus there for me. Now, along the top, you'll find that there's a groove. And of course, we've got the wire coming out the side here. And it can be routed to come out either side. All right, so you could just flip it over here, run it down the channel, and have it come out the other side like so. Right? If you want to get real fancy, you could open it up by removing the 4 screws on the back here. As you can see, there's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just moving the wire over to that side. I will be taking it apart here, in a minute, but just showing you that it's possible to have it on either side or even coming out the front. So it's up to you how you handle that wire. Now the next thing I noticed is there's no power to it. So it's not a powered device, so you don't need to put batteries into it or anything like that. It just plays. So that's really nice. There's no batteries to wear out, nothing like that. And basically it's a tape deck head on the inside of the cassette, as you can see. And I read the reviews and people were saying, oh, there's a film of plastic over the head, take it off. I do not suggest taking that piece of tape off. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you that. Not sure whether you can see it or not, but if you look around the edges of the head, you'll see that there's a thin film of plastic or a plastic piece of tape over top of that magnetic head there, right here. So these, I've read the reviews on Amazon and looked at the link below to find this item at Amazon. I put it in the video description for you. And they say, oh, take the protective plastic tape off the head. It's supposed to improve sound. I don't think it would at all. It's very thin, number one. Number two, it's plastic. This is a magnetic device. It shouldn't make any difference to the actual audio quality. And what happens is that if you take the protective film off the head, now you've got 2 pieces of metal, this head and the tape deck's head, rubbing against each other. That can't be good, number one. Number two, the actual mylar or tape that's over that head actually electrically insulates it from the tape deck. So there's no way for a static charge from the end of this wire to travel through to your tape deck and damage the electronics. So in a sense, it sort of buffers the tape deck. So again, the piece of plastic on this head, do not take that off, okay? Because if you do, I think you're going to cause damage. So next, basically I'm going to just take it apart, show you what it looks like on the inside. And I just noticed there's 2 screws on this side too, and 4 on the other side. So I got the 6 screws off the cassette. Let's take it apart, see what's on the inside. I'm kind of apprehensive about taking this thing apart at this point, but I said I would, so I'm going to, unless it's too much hassle, in which case I'll avoid it. At this point, it's already starting to feel like too much hassle, as it doesn't seem to want to come apart in the front. So something in the front's stopping me. And let's see if I can get that apart here. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Well, I got it apart. 50 million parts popped out. And I'm going to have to figure out how they go back together again. But I'll put them back together again. But as you can see, a fairly simple mechanism, a tape head and wire going through here. You know, again, I caution you against taking it apart, because as you saw, all the pieces just went flying. Now I'll put them back together and show you how that's properly put back together, and show you how the wire can be routed from one side to another. I mean, the wire is right there, so basically all we need to do is just move it to that side if you wish, but I'm leaving it where it is because it's perfectly fine for me. Here's the gearing back into it. Not all of it is there. I just wanted to show you the primary gears. And the reel, the gears that go to the reel have 3 studs, and they should be facing up towards you. You know, basically, you know, ready to engage with the wheels. Now, the wheels actually right here have little pockets for those 3 studs on those gears, and they go onto that. So I'm just going to put those down there for you so you can see how that goes back together like so. And again, with the other one, the 3 gears, the 3 pockets go on the 3 studs on the primary reel gears here. And then there's a drive wheel here, and it has a gear on the bottom, if you can see it or not. And it should be facing down. So I'm going to put it right where it belongs, right there. And at this point, we can put the cover back on and the screws back into the actual unit. Again, unless you feel the need that you need to take it apart to reroute that cable over to this side, which you really don't. There's a channel on the back. You don't need to do it that way. It's up to you. But you know, if you do want to take it apart, here's how it goes back together again. Then we just put the top cover back on, like so, and it just basically fits together. Put all the screws back into it, and then you're ready to go. So I'm going to do that, and next we're going to put it in the car and we're going to test it. There's one more thing I wanted to show you, and that is that since now you have an audio input into your stereo, you can actually buy a Bluetooth unit like this one, and you know, plug Bluetooth into your stereo at that point. So basically all you need to do is connect the Bluetooth like so, then connect the this little cube to, or whatever Bluetooth unit you get. I actually wouldn't recommend getting this particular one for stereo output because it's really weak on bass. But basically at this point, you could pair it with this unit, and then the audio could flow through to this cassette into your stereo. So you'd have Bluetooth connectivity. You wouldn't have to attach it to your, you know, to your phone every time, or this plug into your phone every time you go into your car. You could just hook through Bluetooth. Of course, you need to power this as well. This is battery operated, so you know, it's only got a limited time, lifetime of playing, because the battery will eventually run out. So you need to, but it does have a power jack there, so you could plug power into it through USB, and then have this Bluetooth unit hooked up to this cassette. And now you have a deck from the 2003, for my case, that has both an audio input jack and Bluetooth with this device. I will link to some Bluetooth devices that are better than this one for the deck. I may actually make a video about interfacing this with a Bluetooth device. Actually sounds like a good idea. Here we have the cassette adapter, and I've got the wire coming out the front, you know, according to the orientation that it goes into my deck, which is in this direction. Remember, there's a channel along the back here that you can route the cable in any direction you wish if you need to. Now, pretty straightforward here. Just slide it into the deck, let the deck take it. My deck's cleaning here, but then it's ready to go. Now it's actually ready to be plugged into my phone. It's got the wire here, and here's the 3.5mm stereo jack we're going to plug into the phone. Now I'm just going to show you a few things here before I plug it in. Number one, this is an auto reverse deck, which means it can go either way. It can be flipped to side A or side B. The nice thing is about this adapter is that it actually automatically makes the deck go back to side A if I do change it. So let's do the change here. And you see that it just flips right back to side A, and that's the correct side. So and if I put the tape adapter in backwards, it would do the same thing again, only on to the other side. But if you don't have an auto reverse deck, make sure the side A is correct, or you're not going to get any audio out of the system. So let's first start with what it sounds like with nothing plugged into it. So what I'm going to do here is use my little my Zoom H4n recorder here to actually give you the audio on this, so we get a really accurate sound recording. So we're going to do that here. I've got that recording, and I'm just going to turn the volume up here so you can hear the kind of noise that you get through a tape deck. It is an analog system. It does have some audio noise. It's not like digital. So you can hear a bit of hum, a bit of, a little bit of noise there. That's normal with a deck. I'm going to try the Dolby here next, and I'm full volume right here. So let's go try the Dolby here. And Dolby is noise reduction for those who don't know it. And as you can see, that did take some of the noise down and some of the hiss down. Turn it off, you can hear the hiss again. So there's without Dolby. And there's with Dolby. So yeah, there's a bit of noise. This is full blast, by the way, full volume. So, understand that most people don't play them that loud, but regardless, I wanted to show you that kind of noise. And I'm going to start the car up and see what kind of engine noise I'm going to get through the system. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but you do get a little bit of engine whine. So it does introduce a little bit more of that. Again, it's an analog magnetic audio system. It's not digital. You're going to get some noise. But the nice thing is you don't really hear that once the music starts playing. So there's the noise test for you. I'm going to turn that down there. Now, if you can stand that, that's what, kind of noise you're going to get out of the system. So next, we're going to do the audio test. And all I'm going to do is plug my phone, plug the 3.25 inch, 3.25 millimeter, 3.5 millimeter jack into the phone, and we're going to use that for playing music. And I'll start low and work my way up. So there it is on 0. Start this tune up. Now, I don't know how loud you like it, but I couldn't even turn it all the way up because it was just getting a little too loud for me. So, here's the lower volume. I will put this full track at the end of this video on for you so you can hear what the original sounds like. So that's it for my audio test and review on this cassette deck audio input adapter. I think it works great. I'm actually very impressed with how well it worked. Also, one more thing, I have taken a phone call on my phone while having this plugged in, and it worked perfectly. I mean, you use the phone as a microphone, but the audio came out of the speakers without any issue at all, and I didn't have any problem using it as a almost hands-free unit because I still got to hold on to the phone, but it will actually allow you to listen to your caller through the speakers. So that's another plus. I may actually make another video on having installing a Bluetooth adapter to this whole system to make this whole system Bluetooth as well, but that's in the future. That's it for my video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and it helped you out in some way, do me a favor, click on the like button right down here, and you know, if you wish to subscribe to my channel, just click on this link up here, and that should subscribe you to the Richard Lloyd channel, or Richard Lloyd USA channel. Okay, again, thank you very much for your time and watching.
Bye.